Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Great job with the posts on your community. If you see me wiggling here, it's because I got my daughter on my lap because we are going to talk about stress and something like a baby girl is going to come up as far as a potential stress. So I know when we think about stress, we often think about negative stress, so distress type things. Things like the stresses from school, work, losing your job, maybe a negative stress from a relationship, such as arguments or divorce. But there's also something called eustress, so EUSTRESS, and I think I'm pronouncing that right. But it's a positive stress. So things like a new baby is a stress in your life, but it's a good stress. School can be stressful, but when you approach graduation, there's a lot of good stress there as you plan for graduation and for your next step. Marriage can be stressful, but it certainly has its good stresses. Those of you that are married know that a wedding can be incredibly stressful, but again, it's a good stress. It's eustress, EUSTRESS. And so what I'm going to have you do for your post is to identify 2 stressors in your life. So I want you to identify a negative stress and then also a positive stress in your life. And I want you to think about the 3 types of stress. So a lot of what I've been talking about is mental stress. Things like school, relationships, your job, that type of thing can be mentally stressful. Obviously, we all know there's also physical stress in your life, and a lot of us choose to do physical stress via exercise. So physical stress, such as exercise, can be obviously a good stress, right? You work out, you stress your body, beyond what it's used to doing. Then you take some time and recover, and your body adapts and you come back stronger. It can also be a negative stress, unfortunately, if you overdo it. As far as exercise, you don't allow your body to recover. So there's your physical types of stresses. Those stresses don't have to be from chosen exercise. They can be maybe your job is stressful, or maybe you've got an injury that you just keep having to deal with. So physical stress can again be positive or negative. We've got our mental stress that can be positive or negative. The last type of stress that we're going to talk about is chemical stress, and a lot of you brought this up when you talked about the health in your community, because chemical stress can be things such as dehydration. I had people talk, in our conversations on the postings about working outdoors and being dehydrated, potentially chronically dehydrated. That can be a chemical stress to your body. Poor diet, which many of you brought up, is a chemical stress to your body. So is overconsumption, or maybe even just consumption in general of things like caffeine and alcohol. So what I'm asking you to do again is to tell me 2 stressors in your life. I want a good stress and a bad stress. Oh, see, someone's stressed down here. You can tell me whether that's your stress, that you're identifying is physical, mental, or chemical. And then the last thing is, so again, there's going to be a 3-parter. First part is one stressor, identify it and tell me what about that stress. Second part is tell me about your, hey you, tell me about your other stress, so 2 stressors. And then the third is, let's come up with some ideas to deal with stress. And this will be a great resource for you to come up with your own ideas, but then to post on to other people's postings, or respond to other people's postings about ways that maybe you've dealt with similar stresses and that type of thing. I'm going to write all this out because I know it's a lot, but like I said, great work so far. Remember, it's the point totals are cumulative. So if you have 50 out of 100 points, you're doing great. We're only 2 modules in out of 8. And again, you're shooting for 90 points for an A. Also, continue to post. If you do not post for a module, you lose 20 points. The module will be up today, and it'll be up for 2 weeks. Enjoy.